Okay, this week we are soaring into a new film, flying through the air. We're doing air. The movie about It's okay. Anyway, this week we're doing a brand new film based off a true story. The story of Nike and Michael Jordan. This is director Ben Affleck's newest effort. It is called Air. A film that tells the story of a shoe company that is struggling to, get a good stronghold on the basketball market, and the story of one man who finds this up and coming. I think he's number 3 in the projected draft. Number 3 pick in the draft from North Carolina. A guy by the name of Michael Jordan, and he bets his reputation and his career on landing a shoe deal with this rookie who's not even played a game yet. And it's a story about believing in yourself and the creation of one of the most iconic shoe brands in the world.
It's an inspiring story, Hunter. And I'm glad that we are going to be discussing it today. I guess I'm just wondering, but is Air good?
Well, air. We actually need air to survive in our lungs. So when we breathe in, so I'd say that it is good. Oh, you meant the movie. All right, yeah, let's just talk about it.
But is it good podcast?
Yeah.
But is it good podcast? Yeah. Hey guys. Welcome to episode 115?
No.
17.
Yeah, I
I
think.
knew it was an odd number. Because you're odd, and odd weeks are your week, so.
Are they really? Is that? I've never thought about that.
I mean, if we switch off every time, then
We've had guests though. We've had guests that can throw
that's
it off.
true. That's a good point. Well, for the past couple months,
Currently, I'm odd
Mhm.
weeks.
yeah.
You didn't say the name of the podcast. What is the show?
Hey guys, welcome to the But Is It Good podcast.
Hold on, wait,
featuring.
stop. Do our TikTok intro. Here we go. Do it again.
Do you want me to do the?
Yeah,
do you
do
really
it.
want me to?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Hey guys, welcome to the But Is It Good podcast. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Y'all are straight bussin', and it's mad love going out to y'all. This week, Hunter and I actually went and saw Air in theaters. And you probably don't know this, but Michael Jordan was actually a real basketball player.
What?
And
No cap.
he
No cap.
no cap, on God, he might be the GOAT. So this week we're going to be talking about Air, starring Ben Affleck and Jason Bateman, and we are going to. They always put a little they mess something up on purpose just to get engagement. Have you noticed that?
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Have you noticed that?
I guess not.
Oh wait, hold up! I gotta finish it off and say.
Okay.
But who's the mysterious actor who's in the flashback shots of Michael Jordan? Like and subscribe for part 2. There we go.
The actor in the flashback shots. That's amazing.
And then in part
He
2, we
looks
just
just
go,
like
"Hey
him, right?"
guys, it's Michael Jordan."
Okay, yeah. So we're doing Air. Welcome. Thanks for listening, liking, subscribing. All those things that he said were actually true. Thank you for listening and liking and subscribing. And if you don't, please do. We have fun doing this. We're trying to get better. We're trying to, we're doing the best we can, guys. Okay, we're busy. We're old now. We have less than 2 months left of our 20s, and we're just over the
About to
hump.
be-
We're over the
Yeah.
hump.
We've been over the hump. Everyone knows that the peak of physical, you feel the best when you're 12. So we're coming down the hill quick.
on the downslide. Actually, I actually did hear that for men, it's like 30 to 35 is like physical peakness.
Mm-hmm.
So
We haven't
I'm
we
gonna,
haven't achieved our final form.
I'm gonna manifest for myself that my physical peakness is gonna be 35. So I've got 5 years left to get
Yeah.
there, and then I'm done on the downhill. Is she going to town again?
No, right now she's just giving me a hug.
Oh, sweet girl.
Sweet
Anyway,
girl.
yeah, Zach, how's life? How are you?
Life's good. Life's
Yeah?
good. You know that I measure my life based on the health of my dog. My dog's doing great.
Yep.
Athena has, she was sick and she lost some weight. Here she is. Come here. Give me a kiss. Can I have a kiss for the content? No? She's nervous. I was also off camera, so you wouldn't have been able to see it.
Yeah.
She's gained like 6 pounds in the past like 2 weeks.
Is that a
So
good thing?
yeah. Because she's growing, right? So she was a little behind schedule in her weight, and she's gaining weight quick, looking healthy. She's got energy. Yep, she's doing good. So I'm doing good. How is life over in your neck of the woods?
It's good. Slowing down a little bit, which has been nice. Hollis is good. I'm going to Boston in a couple of days, which I'm excited about. Yeah, since the show, I've just been doing taxes, actually.
Yeah.
So that's been fun.
For all our listeners, when's the deadline to get your taxes filed?
April 15th.
Oh wow, that's in a
So
week.
that's like that's literally next Saturday. So finish them up, everybody. I've got mine almost done. Sending them off probably tomorrow. I've been dealing with health insurance stuff because Hannah, she left her job, and which is a good thing for everybody who's listening. No, because it's very expensive. So I'm trying to get Hannah and Hollis onto mine. And
oh yeah.
I just she's eligible, but then they're like, well, your son might be eligible for the state, because they just automatically try and save you money. So now I'm trying to get the state to communicate with me, which is never an easy thing.
No.
Because what I'm trying to say is I don't want that. Just make him eligible for mine. I'll just put them all on mine. But I reached out and they responded in like an hour. And I was like, oh my God, great. And then since then it's been like dead silence. So it's been annoying.
I had a question for the state, in which, granted, this was a busy time, I'm sure, but it was 2020.
Yep.
And I put in an inquiry to the state, and I heard back from them like October of last year. I was like, thanks, but it's been like 2 years.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I lost all my work during COVID, so I actually was like on unemployment and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure who I got it from, but somebody gave me a number that was like unemployment, but it wasn't the number that you'd find online.
It wasn't
And
like
so-
the main hotline. This was
Yeah,
like
it was like something that someone gave me, and I would call it, and it almost always got me through somehow. Because if you call the main line, it was like, your wait time is 37 hours or something like crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, yeah, but that's been annoying. I've got to call again on Monday, but, whatever. Anyway, we saw a movie, and I saw it last night. When did you see it?
I saw it this morning, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like I'm lazy on Friday nights. Like now that we're past the age where we do things,
Yeah.
it's like Friday rolls around and I'm like, oh fuck, thank God. And I just like
Just sit.
well, okay, so I'll do laundry. Like I like to clean on Fridays, so that way the weekend is just like open.
Yeah, you're just chilling. Yeah. I get
Yeah.
that. I get that.
So I didn't go see it last night. I saw it this morning.
Gotcha. Well, Zach, we can jump right in then. Are you ready?
I
Do you
am
have your
putting
swim
on
trunks?
my diving cap, and I've got those little like pasties because sometimes my nipples chafe, So I've got those on,
Chafe
and
on
I'm
what?
ready.
You're not wearing a shirt.
They can chafe for swimmers.
Okay. Well, as long
Don't-
as you're ready,
Don't
as long as you
at
got your
me.
pasties on, let's dive in. You can go first because you just saw it. What are your first thoughts? No spoilers. No spoilers. Look at me, Zach. Look at me. No spoilers. Okay?
I'm looking.
No spoilers.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay?
But I do have a question before I start because since this is a non-fictional piece,
Mhm.
and since the brand that this is about is a worldwide, like,
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Okay, I
Just
got you.
kidding. I see what
So-
you're saying. Do whatever you want.
I thought the film. First of all, I want to say that I had a bad crowd, like a bad theater crowd. I was sandwiched in between a couple that was talking like full volume, not just like whisper. They were like having a discussion while the movie was going, like the entire time. And then on the other side of me was the guy who comes to the theater by himself and laughs a little too loud at every joke. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's like a, I don't know. It's just like like there'd be a little quip or something, and he'd be like and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So I wasn't set
Was
up
it
for
full?
success.
Was it full?
There were a lot of people there for 10 a.m. on a Saturday, a couple weeks after release. You know, but I mean, Air Jordan is such a big brand, right? And so
Yeah.
people love this story, I think, which is interesting because this is a story about like
A shoe.
a shoe, yeah, about like corporate success, which it is about player empowerment and stuff too, right? But like when I saw the first trailer, I was like, we're gonna go see a movie about like a shoe company being successful. Is that what we need right now? That being said, I thought the story was incredibly compelling. I think that it progressed. Like the pacing was like really good. The way that they go from scene to scene, the way that the events unfold, and like Matt Damon's character meets with some people and says, "You're gonna go in there and you're gonna,
Yeah.
this is what they're gonna tell you." And then it didn't just like happen right then. That would have been funny if that happened, but it's like a little later down the road, and it's in the back of your mind, and that's exactly what happens. I don't know. The whole thing unfolded really well. It's an inspiring story. I think it is a. It had a nice mix of serious and a lot of humor, but it wasn't like overly goofy. I had a good time watching it. This isn't the kind of movie that's going to be like you know, this is not going to be in my top 5 movies by the end of the year, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
it was a really good movie. So
Yeah. I would agree with pretty much all that. I, believe it or not, I went to NCG and I had a much better experience.
didn't you say it smelled like shit?
It did it did stink. I don't know what it was, but it
Okay.
stunk in that theater. My only complaint is that it stunk. I'm not sure if it was just like the area that I was in or like somebody that was around me. I don't know.
So
Sorry.
it could have been a person and not the
Maybe.
theater.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But overall, there was a stench. And no previews, which I guess that's fine. I mean, I was on time, so it's not a huge deal. But it just kind of throws you off a little bit. It's just like, oh, it's starting, okay. But much better experience than last time. You know, Shazam, the sound didn't work. And I will say, I was a little surprised because it was 10 o'clock. Mind you, it's a Friday night, and movies just come out. But it's not some massive blockbuster, right? And it was pretty full.
Yeah.
Now, there were some seats left, but it was maybe like 3/4 full. And I was like, hey, good for Air, you know?
Same. My theater was probably 3/4 full, so there was no one directly on either side of me. I like picked a seat that there would be like a buffer, so if someone sat next to me, it had to be like some chump like me, right?
Yeah.
But
exactly.
the theater was for the most part full. Continue.
Yeah. But no, I really enjoyed it. I was in it the entire time. It felt really good, you know. And of the two of us, I'm the one who tends to like the comic book movie stuff more. But it was very nice to be like, okay, I'm watching like a real movie, you know, like a real.
Shots fired.
I'm watching a real
We're
go
gonna
to
screen
the
cap
theater.
We're gonna screen cap that and put it on Instagram. Oh, I'm watching a real movie this week. Okay.
I'm watching a real go to the theater movie. I'm pulling my best
Yeah,
Harry
yeah.
Styles. But in the sense of like, you know, like it was. Look, we've said this a million times, and again, I will defend. No, actually, I won't. But I'll defend comic book movie stuff more than you will. I'm a DC fan. I like Marvel. It's gotten crappy, but like there is definitely a feeling when you're watching a film like this, or like John Wick that we did recently, or stuff like Minari, stuff like, you know, the Oscar, but you know, Everything Everywhere, those kind of things. There's like, even in the like, I'm not even sure how to explain it. it's almost like the film gives off an aura that's just different. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, for sure.
the
The entire
editing,
feel,
the
everything.
the way it's shot, the frame, everything just feels better.
It's not content. It's not
Yeah.
being sold based on, well, it kind of is being sold based on its namesake. But it also delivers.
Yeah,
Whereas-
but you know what I think it's something as simple as like, hey, I think they're actually in this room and that's a real couch and that's
Yeah.
a real set. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like those little things after a while it's like I needed this, but I really enjoyed the performances were great, the direction, which has been Affleck, it was great. The pacing was great. There's one thing that I thought was an interesting choice, and I don't think it was good or bad. I think it was just okay. I'm interested in why they chose that, which I'll get to that later. But I felt inspired by it. I was interested in it as from like a historical point of being like, oh, look, I rock Nikes a lot of times. I've got some Blazers and some Legacies, and I'm like, I assumed Nike was always really cool. Okay, but no, at least not in that sense. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see how these brands that we already know and love kind of came to be, then how the precedent was set for players to have more power and more involvement in their brand and that kind of stuff. Because I think of the major sports, NBA is one of those leagues that like the players have a lot of power, or have been getting more and more power.
Sure.
I'm not entirely versed in NBA, so I could be wrong, but it seems like it to me from like an outsider looking in. But I enjoyed it. I think it was really good. I wouldn't be surprised if this is in the conversation for Oscar stuff. I wasn't like blown away. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, oh my God, this is incredible. But I was like, this is really solid. It's really good, and I took something from it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think our bar is always going to be something like Everywhere, because we were like floored by that movie. And this didn't floor me, but I was like, I needed that. I needed a fun, interesting film to watch that was meticulously made and interesting and inspiring. So I had a good time watching it.
Good. That's
Is
good.
it my turn to do a movie in a minute?
It is, because it's your week, because it's the odd week, and you're odd.
Can you sing me a song?
Yeah. It's time for a movie in a minute. Talking about Air, directed by Ben Affleck. We should have known it was going to be good, because Argo was also good.
Have you seen The Town?
Mm-mm.
The Town's really good.
Cool.
Didn't he do... Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm going to have a little tangent. Ben Affleck, director, filmography. Directed by Ben Affleck.
Live by Night.
Oh, he did Gone Baby Gone. That's a good one too.
Yeah. He also did I Killed My Lesbian Wife, Hung Her on a Meat Hook, and now I have a 3-picture deal at Disney.
It's an American short. Interesting. Live by Night. I actually don't know. I know that one bombed. I don't know how the reviews were though.
Live by Night.
Oh, it got bad reviews.
Yep. Bless you.
But other than that, I think that's the only one that's kind of gotten bad reviews, because Argo got good reviews, Gone Baby Gone got good reviews. He's got a really solid filmography. Anyway. The I Killed My Lesbian Wife, Hung on a Meat Hook, that got bad reviews too. And actually Ben Affleck disowned it.
Yeah. It was also back in 93, so it was, that's when we were born.
That's true. Okay, cool. Movie in a minute. Let's do it. Let me get a timer. Online.
What were you doing while I was singing? Just fucking off?
I was drinking water.
Okay.
I was fucking off, yeah. Do you watch Succession?
I haven't seen it. I don't really watch TV
Yeah,
shows.
I haven't seen it either, but apparently it's like blown up now that all they say in the movie is fuck off. It'd be like, hey, can I have some water? Like, fuck off.
Oh.
So it's like a thing now, apparently.
I mean, saying fuck off has been a thing for a long time.
That's true. All right, are you going to count me in or not? God,
How can I count you in if you have the timer?
I guess you have a point. Whatever. Here we go. This is air. That was air. Get it? Did
Yes.
You get, is it funny?
Yeah, yeah.
It was
yeah.
funny. Air in 1 minute. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's the 80s. I think it's like 84. There's 80s, music and crazy suits and stuff. It's the 80s. We're at Nike. Nike's struggling to get a good market share in the basketball world. I think it's run by Adidas and Converse. Anyway, they're trying to find their next big player. They're like, oh, should we pick this guy? He's numbered, 6 through 20 in the draft, whatever. Anyway, Matt Damon's like, I want to get Michael Jordan, give him the whole budget, create an entire shoe around him. He's this up-and-coming freshman, rookie, whatever. Anyway, it's about he has to go to his boss, which has been Affleck, Phil Knight, convince him he risks everything on this deal. He drives to North Carolina to see his mom, and it's Phil Davis, and he's like, hey, I want to, bring son to Nike, and she's like, we'll see. Anyway, they meet with them. He gives this really inspiring speech. They give him $250K. Air Jordan is born, and they give him a cut of the revenue of the shoe for life, and then he's the GOAT. You're welcome.
Literally turns into a goat at the end.
He's the GOAT. Turns to the GOAT. Okay. Shall we, sir?
Yeah.
Let's talk about air, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
Breathe in air.
So, breathe in air. Yeah, we're focus on your breath. When you're breathing in, just know that you're breathing in. I want to say, man, this cast was awesome. Sorry, I gotta try and fix my thing.
So you said it was stacked.
It was stacked. We got Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman. Is that what you said? Bateman?
But now that we're not doing the TikTok
Oh,
fuckboy
sorry.
thing.
We got Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman. We got Chris Tucker,
Yeah.
Marlon Wayans, Viola Davis. The agent's name, I can't remember his name. Who is that?
Chris Messina.
Chris Messina. And then who's the guy who plays the shoe guy? I feel like I've seen him before. What's his name? Matt Mayer. But anyway, yeah, we got it's just a great cast. Everybody's on their A game. I always find it funny that I feel like Chris Tucker and Jason Bateman just kind of play themselves. But it still works for the film. You know what I mean? What are you reading?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was just reading. There's a Skarsgård in this movie. Gustav.
What? Gustav Skarsgård? Oh yeah, you're
I'm sure. I'm almost certain he was one of the Adidas guys.
Adidas. You know that Americans in the West have said that wrong for decades. The actual name of the company is Adidas.
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 It's Adidas. It's supposed to be pronounced Adidas.
All day. I dream
About what? Soccer?
about soft
Skarsgårds?
drinks.
Skarsgårds?
Did you know the Puma one? I've never heard the Puma
I'd
one.
never heard that one before either.
Like, I don't know if that was just like a one-off joke, but when he was like, "Please use my ass," I was like, "Whoa!"
I had never heard that one. But no, I thought the cast was great, and it's I personally don't know anything as far as I don't know much about their real life counterparts. I'd heard of Phil Knight, of course. I didn't know who Sonny Vaccaro was. He was very involved in the NIL stuff for NCAA about 10 years ago. Obviously, we have the Jordans. But let me actually ask you. I had a question. This is kind of my only thing as far as and it's not by any means a good or bad thing. I just thought it was an interesting choice. What do you think of their choice to not cast? I mean, they did cast somebody, but not show Michael Jordan's face, like as an actor?
I mean, it's a choice. I think. I mean, the main plot point is that Michael Jordan is not interested in Nike, right?
Mhm.
And so they have to do some convincing, some wheeling and dealing on the side, and so largely it is the story of all of the interactions around Michael Jordan to convince him to go with Nike. And so I feel like, I mean, anytime there is if they had shown Michael Jordan and if he had been a bigger part of the movie, all of the news stories and all of the like screen caps would have just been like, check out Michael Jordan, and that's not
Yeah.
that's not what the movie's
So
about,
and so is playing Michael Jordan.
right?
That's yeah, I get that, and I think that's. I thought it was really really smart to like they actually use footage of Michael Jordan. So when you see him, like he's what? What is that?
No,
smile
that
for?
was I was smiling because that's part two on
Oh.
TikTok.
Oh, gotcha. Do you want to do that real fast?
No.
Okay.
No. We don't have to keep that bit going. That was a
Okay.
one-off.
Um,
I think my brain would melt if I had to do that
Yeah.
all the time.
No, but I think that's a really smart way to kind of show that and kind of have him in the movie without actually needing to cast him as because, like you're saying, anytime somebody who's real and who's that famous is cast, they kind of take over the story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of examples. Well, I mean, there's been plenty of like music, biopics recently of being like, oh, so who's playing Freddie Mercury? Who's playing?
Yeah, but those movies are about
True.
Freddie Mercury
True.
or
I'm
Elvis.
trying to think of like. There's definitely been a movie that I've seen where it's like somebody plays a really famous person, but they're just like in it for a minute.
Yeah, they're
I can't
like
think
a
of
side
anything.
character
Yeah,
to the story, right? But
I can't think of any. Oh well, but the only thing that I guess the counteraction of that and I guess maybe the unintended consequence of that is that for a second, and it wasn't for long, so it didn't like take me out of it. Once I kind of realized, okay, they're not going to show him, but I had a scene or two where I would wonder like, oh, who's playing Michael, or like, oh, are they going to show Michael Jordan? So for a second, that still distracted me in the sense of like, I went from judging who they chose to play Michael Jordan to wondering, oh, I wonder if they're going to cast Michael Jordan. But I will say that once I was like, oh, they're not, because I kind of noticed how they were framing it. I was like, okay, cool, I can forget about it and just kind of focus on what's happening in front of me. So I think it ended up being, because I saw one review that I was reading, and they still gave it a fresh review, but they were like, that's a giant distraction. They missed a giant opportunity to cast Michael Jordan. I was like, I don't think so. I think it's a distraction
think
either
about-
way.
within the story, think about when he goes to North Carolina and he's talking with Michael's mom, and he says, "Is he in there? Can I meet him?" And she says, "No, it's not time for that yet."
Yeah.
And then at the end, when they seal the deal, and he calls her back and says, Nike's willing to accept the terms and give Michael a percentage of all gross sales, she says, "Okay, it's time." And that's when. Is that the only time he talks? Does he talk in the boardroom, like when they're having the meeting?
I don't think so. I think we get like a chuckle or something. There's
Okay.
like maybe like there's like an audible like he obviously is human and he's alive, but like I don't think we really hear him saying anything.
Yeah.
I know during the Nike meeting, he kind of squirms. He gets uncomfortable with like the video because the video is terrible.
Video sucked.
Yeah. It was
The funny thing
super
is-
awkward, and like the song, "I've been dreaming of you."
It was just highlights. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
anything. I don't know. It is funny how his dad was just like along for the ride. He was just smiling
Yeah,
the whole time.
yeah,
He
I
could,
know.
you couldn't do anything to disappoint him. He was just like impressed by that shitty video and
Yeah,
like all the meetings that he went to. He's just in the background, like yeah.
yeah.
Whereas Viola Davis's character, his mom
Dolores, yeah.
Dolores, she's like a. I mean, she knows who her son is, and she did a good job.
Yeah,
Like in
I
real
think-
life, she did a good job.
And I think this is awesome because like this movie is there are actually a lot of really, I think, really impressive and important messages that through this film of like, you know, like following your gut and what's leading you and taking risks and, you know, dreaming big, yada yada yada. But there's also a giant theme of like, you know what you're worth too. And I guess that's kind of embodied through Viola, which actually at the end she even says like, you know, I think they're on the phone and she's saying, you know, my son knows what he's worth and who he is, and
Right.
he says something like, you know, and I know that you know that too, and she was like, do I, or am I just the reflection of seeing that in my son, or something like that, you know?
I think she says, "Am I just the reflection of who he is and who he knows he is?"
Yeah.
Right.
But it's something to know, like, you know, don't just say yes to something because you're being offered it, but actually know what you are value, like what your value is and and if you know, like and that's not to say, oh, I can get more than this, being like, I am worth more than this, you know. I think that's really powerful. I had a point to that, but I kind of lost it. But anyway, dang. Oh well, we can go from the beginning now. What?
Okay, let's go from the beginning.
Well, no, I was just saying, like, I thought it was interesting to see like, I guess the afterthought that was Nike's basketball division.
Well, back then, yeah.
It's just funny because I'm the perfect audience for this because like I like basketball, but I'm not super knowledgeable as far as like the industry. I follow the Hawks through you and casually. I literally didn't really buy Nikes until like 2 years ago. Besides like running shoes.
Right.
So for me, it was always like a cool brand, but it actually really wasn't.
Before, well, I mean, it was in terms of like running shoes. Like they had a pretty steady grip on the running shoe market, right?
The Olympics, that kind of stuff, that kind of.
And they kind of still do, honestly. Like
my running shoes are Nike.
You go to the gym and everyone's wearing Nike trainers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or a lot of people are. But in the like before Michael Jordan's deal with Nike, it was almost all Converse. Everyone was wearing Converse.
Well, that was
which is crazy.
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, because that was from the 70s and stuff. But also, man, like Converse they have no support.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I remember. I remember when I was in college, there were friends that just wanted to like go to the gym and shoot the basketball, you know. And I didn't have basketball shoes, right? And then someone was like, "Well, you know, back in the day they used to wear Converse," and I was like, "Oh, cool." So I went to the gym in my like high tops, and it was like the fucking worst. It was, I may as well have been playing barefoot, you know.
Yeah, like my mom. I think you know this, but my mom used to coach basketball. She played basketball, used to coach basketball.
Yeah.
And she used to play in Converse.
Yeah.
You know, back in the 70s and 80s. And
so you did know.
What?
You did know that Converse was bigger than Nike.
Yeah, yes, but in the sense of like by the 80s, I thought the Converse were like 60s, 70s, and that was kind of it. Because like my favorite pair of shoes, well, yes, but my favorite pair of shoes that I have, my favorite Nikes are Nike Blazer 77s. And so I was like, oh, that must be 1977. That must be like they were cool then. And like maybe they were, but it's like they weren't really on the court. You know what I mean?
Okay, so that's another thing because there are a lot of things that are like resurging and making a splash in the fashion world. Like, have you seen these old? Not old. They're new now, but it's like bringing back like the suede New Balance shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost positive that those were not popular back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, like New Balance has never been that brand, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but so I don't think. I guess what I'm trying to say is just because now we're wearing like Nike 77s doesn't necessarily mean that they were like a big thing back in the day.
Yeah. Fair.
It's like a diamond in the rough situation where it's like, let's look through the scraps. Oh, cool. This would sell today. It might
Yeah.
not have sold back then.
Yeah.
Let's bring this back.
It's interesting. Because the first shoe, I think what's interesting to me is that shoe to me still doesn't look like a basketball shoe.
The Air Jordan.
Well, hold on a second. This is from somebody. This is from somebody who didn't really know about basketball, doesn't really care,
Okay.
especially not shoes. But I'm also somebody who I used to own a pair of Air Jordans
Okay.
when I was in like 8th grade. They were white and green,
Yeah.
but they didn't look like that. And like basketball shoes to me now don't look like that. To me, let me just Google it. That the first Air Jordan looks more casual to me than a basketball shoe now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was the 80s and shoes have.
No, I
It was
know.
kind of funny talking about all the little like jokes and one-liners and stuff. Where is his name Peter? Is that the guy who designs the shoes?
Let me see. Hold on.
And he's talking about how little shoes have evolved over the years.
Peter. He says that happened like there's only been one massive overhaul, and it was when they separated the left and right shoe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like 600 years ago. Yeah, like these look. I mean, I can definitely see how they are basketball shoes, but to me, they just looked more. I don't know. Continue.
Look at the Air Jordan 37, which is last year's shoe. And then look at the original Air Jordan.
37.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean they're very different.
They're different, but are they? Because you have the same level of support at the ankle. They have more arch support, and there's more give to them. And obviously, they're made from different materials. You know, it's mesh, so it's breathable versus just straight leather, right? But in terms of the shape of the shoe, the Air Jordan 37, I would argue, is quite similar to the original Air Jordan, the notorious, the Air Jordan 1.
I'm looking up evolution of the Air Jordans.
Okay.
I know where this is a podcast and you can't actually see what we're doing, but this is fascinating to me.
Because the shoe does go through some drastic changes in the 90s. Like you're looking at are you on cardboardconnection.com by chance?
No, but I can be. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, pulling it up. Here we go.
So we're looking at the same thing, you know?
Yeah, pulling it up.
Okay.
Okay, yep. Okay. Let me see if I can
Look
see
at
the
the-
ones that I found.
Look at the Air Jordan 16 Marching On from 2001. That is a different shoe, right?
Yeah, okay. And that's funky.
But then when we get back to, I would say when we get back to like 2009, we're getting the form factor back where it's coming up the ankle and it has that. I mean, it has more arch support, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know. I see them as being pretty similar in form, just different in style. And like I said, they're obviously made of more breathable materials, right?
I'm trying to see, like, I guess they were older. I'm not sure. It might have, I think mine looked like the Speed of Sound, the 1999 ones, but I obviously didn't get them in 1999 because I was in middle school. They might have been like the 2000.
With the big old pocket on them? That's
Wait,
that's
what?
cool.
Where's the pocket?
The Speed of Sound?
Oh no. Okay, so no, the 98, the like the race ready.
Race
one.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like mine were like white and green.
Yeah.
So I guess to me, like that, knowing that that's what my brain thinks of when I think of Air Jordans, and then seeing the first one, I was like, huh.
I'm sorry, Hunter, but it's wild that because there's an entire market around like the Air Jordan 1 and they come out with different color palettes like
Yeah.
all the time. They do shoe
I don't
drops.
think I don't think I knew that was an Air Jordan. I
for
genuinely
that
don't think I did.
shoe
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
I've seen it. I've seen it a million times. That's the
Oh,
thing. Is I
man.
really don't look. I'm not even kidding. Like I literally,
I mean, that's yeah.
I literally got my Nikes, my first few pairs, like 3 years ago, and my like Nike Blazers, I guess they're actually mids, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what they were called. I genuinely was like, "What kind of shoes are those?" They're Nikes. That's all I knew. And then they're like, "Oh, those are Blazers," and I was like, "Oh, I've heard that name. I didn't know that's what these were."
Yeah. So it's clear that we're not sneakerheads.
No, not even close.
So if we get any sneakerheads listening to the podcast, which they might have been hooked in by the TikTok intro, honestly. We're gonna look like fools to them.
Well, that's the thing, dude. It's like, so my guitar player in my band, Jared, is he's a sneakerhead, and like I know this drummer named Tim who's also a sneakerhead, and they'll talk about stuff and like just rattle off names of shoes and brands, and I'm like, what? Like the extent of my sneakerheadness goes to I have Nike Court Legacies in white and black, I have Nike Blazers in white and black, I have a couple pairs of Converse.
I thought your Blazers had gold trim on them.
No, that's the Legacies have the goldish trim.
Okay. Okay.
But I have those in white. They're like white and goldish, and then I have a pair in black. And then I'm wearing Adidas. I'm not even sure what they're called, but they're just white, Adidas shoes. They're super comfortable. And then I have Nike running shoes. So like that's the extent of my knowledge. I
thought it was
boots.
pronounced Adidas.
Adidas. You're right. It is Adidas. So for me, it added to the film. It was genuinely fascinating to me to be like, oh, this is like this. I sound like an idiot, and maybe I am for different reasons. But to me, like I was going, those are Jordans. I didn't know that. I thought those were some sort of blazer type shoe. You know what I'm saying?
You do sound like an idiot, but
Thank you.
this shows how movies like non-fictional movies can have unintended like positive consequences, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm sure when they were making this movie, they were like, everyone knows this shoe, but here
Well,
we have
so
a fan,
that's the
a
thing.
fan of cinema who sits down and goes, "Oh, my lord, look at this shoe."
That's the thing, though, is that I knew that shoe. I just didn't know exactly what it was. And what's funny is that like when I think of basketball shoes, even the very next pair. No. Yeah, the Italian Stallion Jordan 2s, the big swoosh is gone. Like, so when I think of basketball shoes, I don't picture the giant swoosh like it'd be on a Blazer.
Right. Well, I mean, and you saw at the end of the film, they talk about Peter took the silhouette
Yeah.
of him dunking, which, by the way, we're going to get to Braves Minute here in a little while, but last night, Ronald Acuna made an Air Jordan catch. It was really cool. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, the Air Jordan 1s have the swoosh on them, and I don't think any other shoe, I'm looking through the evolution
Well,
of
like
the shoe.
there's some that like have the swoosh on the back where it says Nike, like that kind
Right.
of thing, but it's not pronounced.
Right.
Because it like really became like a whole separate brand almost. Air Jordan became like its own brand.
Yeah, speaking of tongue-in-cheek jokes in the movie, Knight, I don't know their names, Phil Knight and Sonny are having a conversation, and Phil Knight says to him, like, well, why don't you just make your own company, something like that. And he kind of did. Like,
Yeah.
Air Jordan has become so big that, I mean, it's the main revenue stream at Nike, right?
Well, I think it said, I was telling Hannah this earlier today, he makes $400 million a year in passive income.
The company makes $4 billion a year off of Jordan, so he's only getting 1%, and he's making $400 million a year.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. That's crazy. Yeah, like its first year, they did $162 million worth of sales.
Yeah, and that was right at the end when Phil Knight's laying on the couch. Is like, it's gonna be like 4 million. How many can he sell? And
Yeah,
it
because
says,
they only sold like I think 3 million was their most of a shoe in a
Right.
year. That's insane, dude.
that that editing style and that like creative choice to like have like that comment and then have the little that reminded me a lot of Argo. Like I feel like there was a lot of that in Argo. I haven't seen the other.
The town.
Right.
You know, I enjoyed that. Like, I don't know. Like, I enjoyed that. It's sort of meta, but it's sort of like where they'll answer their own comment in the film with that. But it's not some like in your face crazy title card. It's just like, nope, here's this. But because it adds to what they're saying too. I don't know. I know we went off on a tangent where we were talking about shoes for forever, but I thought it was great. I mean, I really did.
I mean, what did you expect, Hunter?
I know.
Condoms?
What are you gonna do with your life?
I'm gonna get some shoes.
I'm gonna get what I want. But
I mean, honestly though, this is a movie about shoes, so us talking about the Air Jordan 1s is fine, I think.
But
Ooh.
I think the whole like I loved there. What?
I'm gonna send you a link. You're gonna.
gosh.
Can we chat in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Send it in here. We're
You're
using
gonna be
Riverside. You guys should
You're gonna
check
be-
this out.
You're
Oh,
gonna be
gosh.
buying these.
Are they green?
Hell yeah, they are.
Oh, sick! Those are awesome.
You're gonna.
Those are tight. That
Yeah.
says coming soon.
Right, they haven't released yet. So if you hop on there and get in line when
I like
they,
those
I don't know
black
when they
and white
release.
ones, too.
I don't know anything. I just know that they do shoe drops, and it's like trying to get Taylor Swift tickets. It's like you're in a queue, and chances are you're not going to get one. And if you get one, it's like a big fucking deal. That's how popular. That's the impact of Air Jordan.
They have some like New York Knicks.
Yeah, I see
Ones.
those. Not a fan.
Those green ones are sick, man.
The green ones are sick. I knew when I saw them. I was like, oh yeah,
Those are
Hunter's
tight.
gonna be on that.
I love those. But no, I just there was I love that there were so many moments with different characters about like kind of the necessary risks of kind of
Yeah.
being great, like Marlon Wayans' character, he's only has like one scene I think, but his story of the "I Have a Dream" speech, which
Yep.
is nuts. But to kind of know that, and whether or not that's true, I mean, I would believe that it's true. I guess he'd have no reason to make it up. Oh God, what'd you find? Are you just
They
shopping
have
for
them-
shoes now?
They have them in baby.
Oh God. Oh God.
They-
Oh no.
They've got black on them, but do you know how cool? Do you know how just like if you took Hollis anywhere
Oh
and y'all were
God.
both
See, those are sick.
wearing Air Jordan 1s, which those are the high, so they have like a higher ankle support on them. But can you imagine?
See, I actually think I prefer these with like the green accents.
Well, they're available the same day that taxes are due.
Oh my God!
and-
Look at the baby ones. Those are
Yeah,
awesome,
do you see
dude.
that? Can you imagine if y'all both? I'm telling you, y'all would be
Those are
Insta-
sick.
instantly famous.
Those are sick. Anyway, I was trying to discuss the actual film. Sorry.
Okay, okay.
No, I was just saying, I really enjoyed, I just thought it was great. I'm a sucker for those kind of films. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The go get itness and, but even still, the gravity of it, when Jason Bateman's talking about how he's like, I went through a bad divorce and I only got Sundays, so I literally am allowed to be a dad for 1 day a week. Legally, the judge said I can be a dad 1 day a week.
4 hours. 4 hours.
4 hours a week. Must have been a nasty divorce. Sounds like it was probably his fault. But he says, and that's the thing, man, is there's sometimes I loved his line, a shoe is just a shoe until somebody steps in it.
Mhm.
In the sense of that goes with anything. Anything is just a piece of matter until someone assigns value to that thing and kind of puts something on that. And he was like, for me, these shoes are how I can connect with my daughter. That's the thing that it's just a pencil.
This is a pencil, but if I name it Paul and then break it in half, hold on, I can't do it with one hand. It's the strongest fucking pencil in the world. I just killed Paul.
You killed him.
See?
He's dead. And if you bury that, then you're going to be, I buried Paul, just like the Beatles at the end of Strawberry Fields.
Do you feel sadness?
Kind of, actually, because he wasn't doing anything to you. He just was living his life.
It's okay. I can do the thing. Do you remember back in school, you sharpen this bit, and then you sharpen that bit, and then you've got like a who the fuck's the Jedi from the episode 1? No, that's the Sith guy from episode 1.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, you got like a Darth Maul pencil.
But no,
I'm really talking about the movie today.
You are. You're in rare form. But I appreciated that he was saying like, that's what these shoes are to me. And he was like, and if this all goes south and I lose my job, I'm still probably going to buy Nikes because it means that much to have her. I want her to be connected. I want to have connection. And,
I had the thought.
Hold on, and he has that one last line where he's like, I think Sonny said something, and he's like spoken like somebody who has no 7-year-old. So saying like, hey, this is important. Like this guy could lose his livelihood. Not just that, but he could lose a way of connecting with his daughter.
Right.
Go on.
I had the thought that if that was unsuccessful, and if the Nike basketball division is shut down and he is literally out of a job, and if Converse and Adidas are more popular, why wouldn't he just go buy his daughter like Converse or Adidas at that point?
Because I think at this point they'd established the Nike thing. Because it sounded like he had been doing it for a while. She had like 60 pair, he said.
Right. Hey, that little girl was getting Air Jordans for years, she might still be getting them.
Yeah.
Every Sunday at 10 a.m. He's falling asleep.
I had a big yawn, man. I feel tired. Anyway.
I wonder where Athena... Because I didn't put her up, and she's just gone.
It's already been like an hour, so I know we can ramble on and on. What'd you think of the...
trying to bring it back. I'm over here where's my dog?
I just think it was just good, but like this is what this is about. I mean, I learned stuff from this movie. I really enjoyed... Let's talk about this scene, and then we can be done.
Mm-hmm.
The final meeting. I really, really... The part that I literally almost had to look away because it was so cringy was when Phil was like, I want to let you know that I'm the CEO of this company, and I'm a very, very busy man, and this meeting is so important. Like, I was like, this part... Like, I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious, but I was like, yikes, my friend. Rough.
Was that the choice that you were like, I'm not sure why they made that choice?
No. That one was... We already discussed this, Zach. It was to or to not cast Michael Jordan.
Oh, well, I mean, so you disagree with that? I didn't realize that you...
No. It's not even that I thought it was interesting. I think actually it was the better choice. I still had a moment of distraction because I was going, oh, I wonder if they're going to cast Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still fell into that trope of letting that take over the story for a second.
Okay, let's go back to that was just Ben Affleck saying, I want to say this in the movie. Like, he's the director. He can do what he wants, right?
Yeah.
So he just did that. It was cringe, yeah.
Yeah.
But like in a funny way.
I don't know if Phil Knight was like that, if that's a true story. The whole thing was kind of cringe.
Phil Knight, the CEO of this shoe just like conglomeration, right? Often took pictures with his feet on the table with no shoes on. You'd think he would always be wearing, like in today's world, you're always wearing the Nikes because you're the CEO of Nike. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have barefoot photos. No. Can you imagine if Phil Knight got busted for liking foot pics? And people were like, why doesn't he like shoe pics? You know what I mean? Like in 2023, I'm going off the rails here. You get what I'm saying, right?
Where is this going?
You get what I'm saying? It's like there was a basketball game recently. I think it was a March Madness game. And Shaq was courtside, and someone tried to give him a non-Papa John's pizza, and he was like, "Get that the fuck out of my face," because he's like the spokesperson.
He's like on the board. He's like part
right.
owner,
He's a board member for Papa John's, right? So That was my point. It was you can't always hit Hunter, but you know what? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take because they were never taken.
Amazing. No, I think the whole meeting was cringe. Like the very first thing was when Bateman was like, "I'm surprised you didn't fly him here yourself."
Yeah.
He's like, he just jumps so high.
Right.
That was funny. But I really, really loved Sonny's speech at the end. I really thought that was great. You know, he's like, "We're gonna be forgotten. You're gonna be immortal."
For a second, I didn't know where he was going because he says like, "Fuck the shoe. The shoe doesn't matter. Don't think about the shoe.
Yeah.
Think about your career." And I was thinking, well, he could do that with any company, right?
Yeah.
But he got him.
But you know, I appreciated how it showed them like him being terrible at baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of folks don't know that he retired and went to play baseball and like was really bad actually.
Also had a short stint as a golfer.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know this, but when he was a golfer, he was actually pulled through the golf hole.
Yep.
And he helped defeat the Monstars.
Yep. That happened in real life.
He caught it on film.
It's the better Looney Tune movie of the two. Sorry, Space Jam, what it's called.
There you go.
And didn't he play for like the Wizards too?
Probably. He had 2 stints with the Bulls, right? Because
yeah, he came back to the Bulls, I believe. And now he's a part owner of the Hornets, I think.
I think he's trying to sell him. He's trying to sell his stake. I could be wrong about that, so don't be like, actually. So he was with the Bulls from 84 to 93, retired, came back 95 to 98, retired, came back and played for the Wizards from 2001 to 2003, and by that point, it was, the fairy tale didn't really continue. Not that his career was a fairy tale. He's the best, and he put in a lot of work. I'm not trying to downplay that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, at the end of his career, he wasn't the same player at that point.
Yeah. That's wild.
Even though he was an all-star in 2002 and 2003.
I mean, that's 20 years, after his debut. That's impressive.
But so was
anyway.
Kobe in Kobe's last season. He was an all-star too.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. I really, really enjoyed it. I know it's one of those films where it's like, it's all true events and stuff. But I thought it was great. I thought it was well done. I thought it was engaging. I thought it was interesting. I learned a lot, actually. So,
You're gonna buy those black and lucky green Air Jordan 1 high tops. You're gonna get a pair for yourself, and you're gonna get a pair for Hollis. It's gonna be awesome. For the low price of $250 before tax.
Yikes! Probably
For
not
both
gonna buy
pairs,
those.
not just for one pair.
No, I know, but I'd love to. I should get a pair of Air Jordans now. Should.
Yeah.
Should.
It'd be straight
Anyway.
bussin'.
No cap. Zach, I have a question to ask you,
Okay.
and that is, in your humble opinion, I messed up. Can I start again? Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Start
okay,
over.
Okay. Thank
I'm
you.
just browsing Nike's website.
We lost some folks. He's out. Zach, but is Air good?
Yeah, it's excellent. You mentioned the potential for Oscar worthiness.
Yeah, go on.
I'm not sure about that, but it's a great film. You should go see it.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think it's very good. I'm not saying this is Best Picture, but I wouldn't be surprised if it got some nods in some categories.
What like
Director.
Jason Bateman for supporting actor, or
So I don't know. Best. Is there one for like sets? I'm sure there is.
best
Set
sets?
Set design. that kind of stuff. I thought it was really great.
Yeah, it was. It's
So
a fact.
anyway, there you have it, folks. It is good. It's actually certified fresh.
Wow.
Certified fresh. Yeah. But let's find out who hates it, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's do every movie sucks. Man, I'm crashing hard. I'm tired.
Man,
I might just go to bed.
I had Letterboxd pulled up, and now I don't, and I don't I don't
Because
know.
you've been shopping.
Give me a second.
All right, I've got one. Here we go. Okay, here we
You
go.
shifted your mic, and it made a whale noise. It was like, woo.
Here's the very, very first review. Half star. Diego Boone. I have not seen this movie, but I am letterboxed boycotting it because Michael Jordan is a fraud and not the GOAT. My king and savior, Lele, is. I would like to apologize to myself, Matt Damon, for boycotting my own movie. LeBron is the GOAT. I don't get the last part.
If his name is LeBron, would it be Lele or Lala?
Lala. I guess it would have to be Lala.
Okay, here Jonah says this is a half-star review that says you will never be The Big Short.
You know, I've not seen that movie.
It's a good movie.
I've heard it's
Big
really
Short's
good.
a good movie.
What is this? Objectively, this was a great film and more like 4.5 stars. Shame, I am not an objective person. This was a marketing campaign funded by Jordan himself, but it's calm. We got some cooking for him at Clutch Mafia. I don't know what the last part is. Okay, so far my two have been trash.
Yeah.
It's true. It's okay.
Nick Cheney says, I remember when commercials used to be under a minute long. And honestly, we know, I don't think there's any illusions. I mean, the first review that you read, people will review movies without actually going to see them, right? You don't. There's no like, let's verify your ticket sale. When I saw the trailer for this movie, I thought it was just going to be like a Nike commercial, and in some ways it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're obviously, doing that, but it's so much more, Nick. I don't think you've seen the movie.
Last one. Wait. I got two actually. First one, this person's name is Gay Little Frog. Says, soulless, poorly written, no character depth. The story was basically 3 conversations drawn out into 90 minutes when they had so much more story to tell. Bad directing, mid-acting, corny, and terrible soundtrack. Not worth watching. Then I've got one more, then you can do one.
Well, you get to do 2 in a row before I can do one?
Yeah, this is my bit, right? No, I'm just kidding. No, you can do it. Go ahead.
No, go.
I don't want you to steal the one that I was going to read.
I'm already offended. Well, okay. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go.
Gigi says, how do you make a movie about shoes and have a barefoot man? Which I hear you.
If you stayed during the credits, you would have seen the actual photograph.
I know, and that was my whole thing about like branding, and she has the 2023 mindset of like don't eat non-Papa John's pizza if you're Shaq. Her favorite movie is Cat in the Hat, and she gave Mario 4.5 stars.
Mario has this part of my bit of my shindig. Mario has once again a massive divide between fans and critics.
Yep.
Last one for me. Parker Ruse says, I have no interest in anyone in this movie. Couldn't care less about this story, and even if that wasn't true, it was poorly done, poorly cast, cringy writing. You're just wrong there, Parker. All right, I'm good. You got any more?
Nope.
It's time for news.
News. It's time for the news. Scrub it, dub. Time for the news. I said it's news, and I was doing like splish splash in the bath. That song.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Anyway,
here we go. This is news. Like I was just saying, there's another. Mario is also racking up. Like has like the record-breaking 5-day box office or something. Like at least for the studio.
Record breaking? How
For
much
the
did
studio,
it make?
it's like almost $200 million in 5 days.
That's pretty good.
which actually it's almost, I think it's like more than Shazam made at all. So it's pretty nuts.
Is
But
that
it's,
worldwide release?
I think so,
Or
Wor-
okay.
worldwide. It's sitting at 56% rotten, so same score as Man of Steel. And the audience score is 96%. So once again, we have a massive divide between fans and critics. But here's some more news. Ready? News. We got our first trailer for Blue Beetle. And everyone's mad because they call Batman a fascist. We got our first trailer for Chris Hemsworth's Extraction 2 on Netflix. The Rock has announced that Disney's going to be making a live-action Moana, and he is going to be reprising his role as Maui. Here's one that I'm actually not happy about. I have some feelings.
Hold up. Can we pause for a second, because the live action adaptations of films is getting out of hand really quickly.
Yeah.
When it was like you do Lion King, okay, you do like Snow White. These are older movies, right? But didn't Moana come out like 5 or 6 years ago?
Yes.
That's too soon to
My
do.
guess is that probably The Rock has something to do with it. I'm sure he's probably going to be a producer on it. Here's one that I'm not happy about for whatever reason. This is rubbing me the wrong way, but Harry Potter's being rebooted as a TV show.
No one's gonna.
Yeah, like as a TV show, they're going to recast everybody. Each season is going to be one of the books, which I think that's probably a good way to do it if you're going to do it. But there were also rumors of them doing The Cursed Child, which is the 8th story, with having the cast come back. So now it's changed to like being a reboot. I personally...
Are those not two different projects?
I haven't heard much about The Cursed Child, so I'm not sure if that kind of became this or whatever, but it's going to be a TV adaptation. I'm not happy about it, but whatever. Nothing is sacred. We get Superman Legacy has hired Oscar-winning casting director John Pepsadera. Frank Grillo, who played Crossbones in the MCU, has confirmed he is going to be moving over to the DCU after saying he felt kind of shafted by the MCU because he was sold a bigger story for Crossbones and then he died in 5 minutes. He is being rumored to play Rick Flag Sr. in Creature Commandos.
Don't we already have a Rick Flag that might be canon?
Rick Flag Jr. Yeah.
Junior.
He's dead, though. He died in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
In the Suicide Squad. Todd Phillips has confirmed that Joker 2 has wrapped filming with new looks at both Joker and Harley Quinn. The John Wick spinoff, The Ballerina, gets a June 7th, 2024 release date. We got new character posters and a trailer for Barbie, which looks amazing. You told me this. I didn't believe it, but I guess it's real. Shrek 5 is apparently in development, but also might be a reboot, I saw, which would be odd. Let's see here. Here's one another reboot for days. Warner Brothers Discovery is planning a Clockwork Orange remake.
Oh my God.
With Evan Peters in the lead.
I feel like that's an interesting movie to do in like today. Have you seen A Clockwork Orange?
I actually haven't, but I've seen so many things from it that I kind of know what it's about, but I've never actually seen it. It's the guy with the thing under his eye. He's got the hat.
It's all about his fashion. That's what the movie's about. His
Yes,
fashion.
I know. Morena Baccarin is in talks to return for Deadpool 3. It's not confirmed, but she's in talks. Aquaman 2 has been moved up 5 days to December 20th. A live-action Minecraft movie starring Jason Momoa is going to be released on April 4th of 2025. Yep.
Is he going to be... It's live action?
Yeah,
Aren't they like Square?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Almost done. A couple more DC MCU things. Apparently, James Gunn confirmed, you sent me this, that apparently a Marvel and DC crossover was briefly, albeit lightly, discussed, but now has become more likely because he's involved. But he said that would be very, 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 very far in the future. And then James Mangold is also going to be writing DC's Swamp Thing film. Now, last thing, I've got some Star Wars Celebration happened. I got some big news for that. We'll discuss briefly. because we're already going over. Here we go. First thing, we got a new trailer for Ahsoka. I don't know if you watched any of the old Rebel show, but we have a bunch of characters from animation have become live action within that trailer. Looks pretty good, whatever. Fancy lightsaber battles. I've enjoyed Mandalorian so far. That's the one show that I keep up with. We got a first look at Andor Season 2. I didn't watch the first season. We didn't get, but they saw the first footage of the Acolyte, which takes place during the High Republic era. And then we got a new trailer for Indiana Jones 5, which we all know. But then there's the big ones. Here we go. 3 new Star Wars movies. 3 new Star Wars movies. They aren't being called episodes. They're not, I guess, trilogies of the Skywalker story, but although one kind of is. But here we go. James Mangold, the guy who's doing Swamp Thing, is going to direct. They're calling it Dawn of the Jedi. So go back to the origins of the Jedi. Okay. Then Dave Filoni, who is really brilliant. He's like George Lucas's heir. Dave Filoni is going to direct a film that is going to wrap up the storylines of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, and Ahsoka. So it sounds like they'll be in it. And then the big one was that Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, I'm not sure how to say her name, will direct a film focused on Rey Skywalker. Daisy Ridley's coming back as Rey Skywalker 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker movie, and it's going to be rebuilding the Jedi Order. So that's happening.
So I know that the last movie
Was trash?
Right, episode 9 was trash, and maybe they're trying to retcon it, but wasn't like the ending of the movie indicative of like the cycle of like the Skywalker cycle has completed?
Yes, it's supposed to be, at least because the last Blood Skywalker was dead, which was
Right.
Ben.
Right.
But just so I can fill you in, don't think that you're going to care. If anybody cares, spoiler warning for some of the shows. I haven't watched Andor, I haven't watched any of the cartoons, but I have watched Mandalorian, and they are actively showing how Palpatine did his thing. They're including that plan. So they're using the shows because in the movie all they said was somehow Palpatine's back, and it was awful. So they're actively trying to make it better.
They can't do it. I have another question for you.
Yep.
Hasn't there been not only a trilogy that was planned and has been scrapped that was supposed to be, wasn't that supposed to be the
Rian
Game
Johnson.
of Thrones boys?
Yes, but also Rian Johnson had a trilogy.
Okay, so 2 trilogies that have been canned. And then we also had the director of Wonder Woman was supposed to do a Rogue Squadron movie.
Patty
Isn't
Jenkins.
that correct?
That's been shelved.
So
The
I
only
don't
one that
think-
the only one that I think is still technically being developed as of now is Taika Waititi's movie.
okay, but is it in development, or are they doing filming? Are they like, where are they in the process? I don't think this shit's news until they
it's-
start making the movie, Hunter.
it's
I guess is
pre-production.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. It's his was pre-production still in development, and after Love and Thunder, I don't know if it's going to get made because Love and Thunder was not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's happening. My only good thing to say, because I still love Star Wars, is that thank goodness they at least said, you know what, let's not try and retcon things. Let's just try and continue the story. Because what made the sequel trilogy so bad was they were like, just kidding. Let's go back and fix stuff. Now, that being said, I'm not going to watch all these. I'll probably watch the movies, but like I'm not going to watch all the shows.
Do
too
we have
much.
a few minutes
Yeah,
for
sure.
me to react and discuss?
Yeah.
Hunter and I were texting this week about the MCU and why, we're not going to go into this, but why Iron Man was so successful versus the state of movies that are coming out now, being churned out left and right. And you asked me if I saw Iron Man now, do I think it would be as good of a movie? And I said no. On 2 levels, right? One, if Iron Man came out after all this other stuff, if it was, and it is going to be, if it was integrated in everything. Iron Man was a standalone story when it came out, and it made it compelling. I don't know. It was awesome when it came out. But on another level, I don't enjoy Iron Man now because of the state of
The
the MCU. Honestly, I don't. Like, if Iron Man comes on, it just, like, upsets me. And because of that, I am avoiding any and all Star Wars releases because I want the original trilogy, the prequels, which I know are like kind of like campy and cheesy, but like
Yeah.
you know, I like them for what they are. And then episodes 7 and 8, I want those to remain like in my rotation. I want to enjoy Star Wars, and I fear that if I watch all the shit that Disney's churning out,
Yeah.
I
See,
won't.
I will say that I have really enjoyed The Mandalorian. I didn't watch any Boba Fett. I haven't watched any Andor. Ahsoka looks interesting. Rise of Skywalker was bad. We're of the camp that we enjoyed Last Jedi. I don't think it's perfect, but I enjoyed it. But I've got friends, like my friend Corey is like, that literally killed Star Wars for him. And so like he never saw 9. And so like you become two factions where it's like it either you hate it so much that
Mm-hmm.
you're never going to give it another chance, or you liked it so much that now you're afraid that they're going to ruin it.
Hey, look what camp I'm in.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I'd like to see those films if they ever get made. There was no dates. There's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Did you see the Han Solo movie?
I did, and I thought it was pointless.
Uh,
I thought it was like it was almost like Shazam to me. It was like okay, I guess. I didn't
so
love it. I didn't think it was bad, but I was like, this is not. I could have not seen this and been fine.
what'd you think about Rogue One?
I thought Rogue One was pretty good. I thought that was interesting because that's like a section of the Star Wars timeline that I thought was interesting. I don't need to know how Han Solo got his name. Like I don't care.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that kind of stuff. I'm like I don't need to know. Nope, don't care. I don't care about Boba Fett. He should have been dead. Frankly, he's supposed to be dead. You know what I'm saying? Like the only reason I'm excited about these for any degree is seeing new and different stories. I mean, like I don't.
But is it? Is it going to be?
But that's the thing is like, is Rey's gonna like? Are they really gonna? It sounded like she was like the Jedi were broken. We need to end this cycle. And I'm like, oh, let's just rebuild the Order. I swear to God, dude, if she's rebuilding the Jedi Order and somebody goes bad and like it all happens again, I'd be like, this is, what are you doing? You know?
The crazy thing about Star Wars to me is that there are like thousands of years of lore
Mm-hmm.
in the Star Wars universe. And actually, I do think one of the projects is going to be about the first Jedi.
Yeah.
So
Dawn
that's
of the
gonna
Jedi,
be-
that's like it's like 25,000 years before or whatever.
Right. That's going to be more intriguing to me because that will be maybe not an original story. It's going to be an original story on the big screen,
Yeah.
right? That what's so frustrating is that there's so much that you can pull from, and yet you're trying to keep it all in the same fucking 30-year.
Yeah, Skywalker.
Maybe not
I
30,
mean,
but you get my
Skywalker,
point, right?
Skywalker, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like Mandalorian was like, okay, I get that it's after episode 6, it's kind of like still in there, but it's like, okay, we got to do stuff. And then they were like, here's Luke. And I was like, okay, that's cool, but like,
By the way, we
Yeah.
have another Yoda.
yeah. Which I love Grogu, but still, yeah, like it's still playing into that. They're like, the show The Acolyte apparently is like the protagonist or the Sith, and it's about like the corruption of the Jedi and how, so that sounds like it's interesting, but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
still though, like we saw the fall of the Jedi. You know what I'm saying? Like we've already seen it.
Yeah, if I hear execute Order 66 one more time.
Oh, dude, then don't watch Mandalorian because it's been all over it.
I know.
I mean, it's
it's been
different
trending on
perspectives.
Twitter.
Yeah, it's different perspectives, but it's like there's so many shows and things that have shown that it's like we get it. I mean, I get it was a massive thing, but like in the Star Wars timeline, but you know, I don't know. I think to your point though, it's like okay, this all sounds interesting, but like, are you gonna actually make it?
Yeah.
Because they sort of became like DC for a while, where it's like DC would announce 15 movies, and 2 would get made, and it was the 2 that you thought were least likely to get made. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I never thought Blue Beetle was going to make it out alive.
No, no. Or like they're like, hey, we've announced 4 Batman movies and 3 new Justice League movies, but hey, we're actually going to make Joker.
Yeah.
And then
Which
it does
that's
well.
that's a
You know what I'm
different
saying?
thing.
I know, but still, like, or it's like, oh, actually, Birds of Prey gets made, and I liked Birds of Prey, but it's like, then don't announce Nightwing and Cyborg and Green Lantern, and then be like, well, we can't get those made, but we got Birds of Prey. And again, I liked Birds of Prey, but still.
Maybe I wasn't as plugged in, so I wasn't like going on, movie rant every week to look up the news, right?
Screen Rant.
See, I'm still not terribly plugged in, obviously, but I feel like back when like Iron Man was coming out and the early MCU movies, you learned what the sequel was going to be like in the post-credit scene, or like, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh shit, that's an Infinity Stone.
I miss those days. Yeah.
Whereas now it's like the studios are telling you their fucking 98-year plan that they're going to pass down to their grandkids.
Well, that's like you said something earlier about Iron Man 1, how it was standalone, and now, which made it a good movie.
Yeah.
And now look at the DC side. People are saying, well, I'm not going to see this movie because it's a standalone movie.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Like now that's like a curse where it's like, oh, it's not connected to a universe. Then why should I see it? And it's like, bro, Iron Man wasn't last thing. Iron Man wasn't. It teased things with Nick Fury at the very last end, but it didn't promise you like Thanos.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It just was like, here's a good movie.
Hey, we were years into it before, like it was like, oh, we got 3 Infinity Stones now. It's definitely going to be Thanos. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty far down the road. Whereas
and that
before,
was exciting, and now we're like, Kang's here already.
Right.
You know
I was going to say before the threat is even like apparent to us, we know who it's going to be, and we know that they're going to have the final confrontation. And it's like everyone's just waiting for that now, at least in my opinion.
Well, that's like, dude. They announced bring this full circle, and then we can wrap it up because it's been like 10 minutes. But
okay,
they reintroduced the guy who I forget his name, but the guy who plays Palpatine at Star Wars Celebration in 2018.
Yeah,
and they had his laugh, and I was like, don't show that, no, like,
right.
First off, I don't want you to bring back Palpatine. I wanted Kylo Ren to be the like bad guy, but if you're gonna do it, please just surprise us, please, instead of us knowing, okay, he's already back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been like, oh shit, Palpatine's here. Like,
yeah.
It wouldn't have made it a good movie because they still would have not explained it. That would have been frustrating. But you at least have a moment of like, oh wow, I didn't see that coming. But now everything is just like, well, here's the third act, here's the villain, here's who's gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's just, this is a different rant, but you know.
And it's in part because people make a career out of getting as many little details as they possibly can and posting them online. So, like, there was a time where no one knew what was going to happen until the movie came out. And I think that went all the way up until, like, Infinity War. Like, if there were leaks, they were well hidden. Like, it was hard to find them, right?
Or
like,
there were, like, fake stuff in the trailers. They'd try and trick you.
Right. But when No Way Home came out, like, everyone all but knew that all 3 Spider-Men were going to be in that movie, right? And so
Andrew Garfield had to lie. He's like, nope, not in it. When we all know, it's like, yeah, okay, sure.
Right. And I mean, to be honest, this trend sort of bullied DC into just fucking putting Michael Keaton in the trailer, because that should have been a reveal, in my opinion.
That would have been nuts, dude. That would have been absolutely nuts.
And it's not going to be nuts. It's going to be
imagine?
like beans, just soft beans, not nuts. It's ridiculous.
Anyway,
do we want to wrap it up? I could talk about this for a year and a half.
That was all the news that I had. Zach, give us a brave minute. I'm going to pour a shot of whiskey while you're talking.
All right. So the Braves are 6-2. Great start to the season.
Yes, go Braves.
Both of our losses have come when actually, who was the pitcher last night? Was it Jared Schuster? It was.
Yes, it was both. Now he didn't get the loss, but both games.
Right.
He started both games.
Right. So there's some really encouraging signs, like our batting average is just super high, and we're getting people on base, and then there are some discouraging things. Like we are, I think, number 2 in the league in the most batters walked from a pitching perspective. We're putting
Yikes.
too many people on base that we should not be putting on base, right? We're dealing with some injuries. Michael Harris is on the 10-day IL, but it looks like he'll be back after that. Like it's just going to be a 10-day stint, and then he'll be right back. We've had some pitching injuries. Max Fried's on the 15-day IL. But overall, it's been a very encouraging first week. I'm going to the game tonight if weather allows. It is pouring right now, but they did tweet out about an hour and a half ago, and then they said we're planning on playing. So that's the
Very
Braves.
Zach, that was so brave.
Oh, and also fuck the Mets. Let
Go
me
get
get
your
my
whiskey.
whiskey.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. They have very blatantly shown, as of right now, though, they're the best team in baseball. And the Padres are good, so the Padres it's been a great series so far. Coulda, shoulda, woulda last night, but folks, if you don't know baseball, you should know. Zach, can you still hear me? Yeah. If everyone is like, "Oh, they lost." If you have 100 wins in a season, you still lose 62, so it's okay. Thanks for tuning in. All right, we're going to do whiskey shots. Zach, cheers. This is my usual Crown Apple
I'm back. Cheers.
to whiskey.
Dink. This looks like it's not a lot, but it is because this is
No.
like a wide
I believe you. To whiskey. Cheers.
to whiskey.
Okay.
Where can they find us, Hunter?
You can find us on Twitter at BIIG Podcast. You can email us at biigpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. I'm falling behind on those. But hey, follow us at But Is It Good Podcast. And you can follow me at Hunter Callahan Music on everything. You can follow Zach on Instagram at Zach2TheFuture. That's Zach to the number, the THA, future.31. I'm starting to tag you and myself in all of our videos. So if you follow either of us, you'll find us, our Instagram, our podcast page. This comes out on Monday, what is today? Monday the 10th. So hopefully you had a good Easter yesterday if you observed that holiday. And then do your taxes
And
this week.
today you can go to any grocery store and get those Reese's eggs that are just
Oh, the
those are-
best.
they are the best. You can get them discounted today.
For next
so
to nothing.
not a sponsor, but please.
Please. We would love to have you as a sponsor.
The eggs, the pumpkins, the like Christmas
of them.
trees.
Dude, the bats. There's like little
The
bats. in Halloween.
bats.
The bats are best.
yeah.
When I was sick, like 10 years ago, Zach got me 2 half-pound Reese cups.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
It was a bit much, but still. And do your taxes this week. They're due on Saturday.
That's right.
That's all we got.
And live from where
Atlanta? Just say Atlanta, I guess.
live from Atlanta, we are signing off.
Go Braves.
Go Braves.
Hope the Mets lose every game. Bye.
But is it good podcast? Yeah.